Okay, stand by. Consider yourself warned. We're going to be talking about politics. Well, maybe it's not bad news. Hold on just a second. Don't rush into this. I want to introduce you to Russell Smoldon, who's going to introduce us to B3 Strategies, of which you are the Chief Executive Officer. What is B3?
B3 Strategies stands for brick by brick. We build public policy from the foundation up. So we like to call ourselves the public policy architects. And basically, I have 26 years with Salt River Project managing government relations. I retired a year ago and decided I wanted to do something a little different. And so I'm doing some federal, state, local, political consulting, lobbying, working on some pretty exciting issues in Arizona.
You know what the public is asking right now is, okay, all right, what does that mean, though, when it comes to public policy? Are you left of center? Are you right of center? Are you sometimes both sides of center?
As I like to say, some of my friends are for it, some of my friends are against it, and I'm with my friends.
Good.
So
then we can talk about the whole issue.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because we've got a Wallace and Ladmo feature coming up here, as we do a couple of times a week, called Look Back and Laugh. After elections, an enormous number of people in Arizona look back and cry. Let's talk about the one coming up in November.
Sure.
What do you see gubernatorially?
Well, I mean, we have two great candidates.
Do we?
Oh, absolutely. Fred Duvall, I've known for 28 years.
He was just on yesterday, and Doug Ducey is going to be on Friday.
And I've known Doug as long as he's been in politics in Arizona. So I think they're both quality candidates. I think we're really fortunate that we have two quality candidates. The issue is, and sadly, this has been the issue in Arizona a long time, is who shows up to vote. So typically in an off presidential election year, Republicans will show up about 12% more than Democrats. There are more Republicans than Democrats.
But not a whole lot more.
No, not about 175,000, I think, registered.
And more independents than either one of them.
Exactly. But again, independents showed up 41% of the time in 2010, 43% even in a presidential election.
Did you
2
notice
years
in
ago?
Scotland, when it came to the vote of that small country about independence or remaining with the crown, some 85-90% of the people turned out to vote. Why is it we can't at least come close to that kind of passion?
You know, I wished I knew. I wished you could bottle it. I talk to high school kids, college kids all the time about political involvement. If you don't get involved, other people make your decisions for you.
Is it because of the fact that they think that it's just not going to make any difference?
I think that's a big part of it. Unfortunately, that's not true. A couple of votes make big differences and have for a long time.
And sometimes it's a matter of an efficient person versus a bozo.
Exactly.
Keep the bozos out of office, whatever party they belong to.
Well, I'm afraid of clowns, so that's not good.
Wait a minute, I
good.
played one on
Oh,
top
that's
of it.
right. That's exactly right.
And in some cases, some people say I still am.
There you go.
But raising taxes, both of the gubernatorial candidates say absolutely not. We're going to lower taxes. Are they?
No, not. Again, it's a math issue. I'm a political science history major in college. I know nothing about math. I think I got a C in calculus. But I can tell you the math is pretty simple. There just isn't enough money available by cutting anything or everything in order to fund the things we need to fund in government.
And when we've cut taxes in the past, and when we've cut funding, it seems that almost everyone is in agreement the state's been hurt.
Well, yeah, I mean, whoever it is you're cutting it for tends to do pretty well. If you're trying to develop a market, whether it's in bioscience or technology or a specific type of industry, they seem to do well for a while. But no, the overall issue is how do you fund government and what's the fairest way to fund government?
Here's a real challenge for you, okay? You ready?
Yes, sir.
Get those B3 answers coming my way. Define the Arizona State Legislature.
Oh my. I just like to say, if you've ever been to Walmart, that would be kind of define what it looks like.
Because that would be a part of the community.
Oh, absolutely. And you would be surprised how representative the legislature is of the community in general. We have everything from one end of the political spectrum to the other. People who are, very well college educated with, advanced degrees, to people who barely made it through high school.
But why is it that it seems, I think, to the vast majority of people in the state and outside the state, that one philosophy runs the whole thing?
Well, Arizona's really a populist state, and if people don't get involved, you get what you get. I mean, whatever that trend line looks like currently, that's what you're going to end up getting in the legislature. So if people don't take advantage of the system and vote and participate, they get what they get.
Whether we're reading the New York Times, the Boston Globe, the Examiner, or any of the newspapers around the country, as they look at us, there's almost always a different view of us than we have of us.
Yeah.
What's the number one misconception?
Well, I think people still think there are wagons and horses on the streets. Number one, if you go back east at all, and I can just tell you that Arizona is misconceived. It's interesting. In other Western states, they have the same kinds of problems. So it's a matter of getting our message out. It's a matter of talking about the good things I think that we're doing in Arizona, and there are a lot of good things.
Okay, well, sure. And having been here since the ho-ho-com left, I'm proud of the state. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. However, you said that's the way it seems to be in the West. Why? Is it the smugness of Eastern journalists looking at us in the West?
Oh no, I think we are what we are. I think we're kind of proud of what we are.
What are we?
Well, we're a kind of a free-loving society who appreciates our outdoor opportunities, our recreation opportunities. Who would rather be out in the truck, four-wheel driving in the desert than they would be in the voting booth. So. I think a lot of people are concerned about K-12 education. They're concerned about universities. They're concerned about what we do about healthcare. But are they willing to show up and support whatever candidate it is they think are going to get the job done for them? They haven't so far.
Is one of the other problems, Russell, the fact that, let's say, east of the Mississippi, the Midwest and the eastern states, they're geezers, and we're young whelps. We're, particularly in Arizona, just kids.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've only just made it to our 100th birthday. I mean, our infrastructure is brand new compared to the East. So yeah, we haven't been around that long. I mean, the whole com, by the way, that's about 400 BC. So you dated yourself.
No. I interviewed them all. Okay. Nice kids.
All right.
Okay, so when we're talking about solving the problem, we've got 1 minute to do it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Russell. You're in the business.
Well, I believe that people need to pay attention. And I think that I would encourage whoever you're in favor of to make sure you still have time to register. You still have time to get to vote. Don't take that ballot and set it on your dining room table for 3 weeks. When it comes in the mail, fill it out and send it back in. And as they say in Chicago, vote early and vote often. And so I think that's important as well. So tell your friends to vote. But figure out who it is you want to support and support that person. We've got good people running, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be involved in this process.
I mean, it's not corny to be passionate about who's in charge, for crying out loud. Somebody that's the boss of your company, wouldn't you love to have some say in that decision? Well, this is your company. Get out and vote, or I'm coming to your house. I'm telling you right now. That's Russell Smoldon, B3. Jerry Foster right around the corner.